Have you been struggling with a lot of uncertainty, not knowing where you're going to be going, moving back and forth, not sure where the future is leading you? Well, this video is for you. Grab a cup of coffee, tea, juice, whatever it is, water, and just sit down. I will be sharing my techniques on how to manifest your dream job. I'll be also sharing a high frequency chant that I used, which just made it so much more impactful, and a scripting technique. So join me, sit down. Hello, everyone. My name is Fran. Welcome back to my channel. And today I'll be sharing a deeply personal story about how I manifested my dream job. So my journey begins, let's say, at UNISA, the University of South Africa, where I was doing my degree, my bachelor's in education, specializing in intermediate and senior phase. At that time, I did not qualify for NSFAS. It's the bursary given by the government to fund students that are less fortunate. I typically was not less fortunate because both of my parents were working, but they had a lot of, things to take care of. They were taking care of four extended families. So as much as I didn't qualify because we could afford the lifestyle, I actually didn't, afford education. My journey was actually one of the hardest because during that time too, I just couldn't emotionally deal with a lot of things. But my parents, my family, my extended family, a cousin of mine whom I'll forever be grateful for, Sis Mbali, she helped me. When I couldn't afford my textbooks, she really came through and helped me. She got funding, government funding, and she would get me books with her remaining money. I remember all those moments where we'd meet up in the CBD, go for ice cream at the workshop, and she would actually get me books from the bookstore. Always be grateful for that. So during this time, my father fell ill and he was in a coma. I was doing my final exams and it was pretty tough to just stay focused, knowing that in the afternoon you'd go and have to see your father in a hospital bed. But we soldiered through and I managed to complete my studies, even though we lost him in 2013. So, post graduation, it was quite an intense time because I knew in the back of my mind that I wanted to help my mom financially and just be there for her to support her emotionally because, I mean, she had lost her husband and her best friend. So, I had to try and be as close as possible to home, and that was my initial plan. But, life was lifing, so I was trying to apply everywhere. I landed a job in China, but because of COVID, things just fell through and that didn't happen, although I had signed the contracts and everything. And then after 2 whole years of struggling to find another job, I managed to find something in Qatar. So I moved into my sister's place, packed my bags, moved into my sister's place. Thank you so much, sis. And her family were just so amazing. But I just felt like I needed more. So then, because I just needed to be able to send as much as possible back home and save and just plan for the future. So seeing that I have many talents, jack of all trades, I started a food business where I was making Durban food specifically. It was quite niche. So the company was called Durban to Doha, which was the city I was living in, Durban being the city I was born in. So I was specializing in Indian cuisine, so Afro-fusion Indian food, and there was a big, big market for it. It was quite successful. But I just felt I needed more out of life at that time and I needed to pursue more and I just wanted the freedom to be on my own and learn responsibility because subsequently I've always wanted to be a mother. So I thought, how am I going to be a mom if I've never lived on my own, taking care of bills? And I decided, let me start applying again to Southeast Asia, other parts of Southeast Asia, you know. But I just wasn't sure. So I moved back home. And during my time when I moved back home after quitting my job, resigning from my job, I came back home and it gave me a sense of peace. I felt grounded within my culture. I was traveling a bit, being around family. It just gave me a new lease on life. And I was closer to my mom, which gave me more strength. So then I decided I'm going to start, my spiritual journey, let me say. I was just manifesting and without really scripting. It was more so just thinking about it, speaking it out, praying about it, and listening to meditation music in the morning and at night. And I grew frustrated because I was not, getting called for interviews, or I'd get interviews and I wasn't getting positive responses. And then I was here on YouTube, the University of Life, and I searched manifestation videos and I bumped into a video from a fellow YouTuber. I'll try link her channel below. And she was talking about scripting, which I had never heard before. And I looked into it and I was fascinated by the fact that, hey, I can write this down, speak it into existence, which I started doing. Okay, so here's the technique. You script out everything that you want. There's an order and a sequence to it. At first, you write the title, manifesting my dream job, manifesting my dream home, manifesting my dream life. But it has to be in present tense. It's not, I will one day have a beautiful home. No, you have to be as detailed and as present in the moment as possible. You have to be as detailed and as present in the moment as possible. For an example, let's say you are manifesting your dream car. You know what color it is, you know what size it's going to be, what model, which year, if it's a second hand or it's right out of the, store, whatever. You're going to imagine yourself sitting in that car, smelling that leather if it's leather, feeling that steering wheel, feeling the gears, feeling the pedals. Where are you driving to? What's the weather like? Who are you with? How do you feel? So basically, that's how I channeled scripting for my dream job. You have to be so specific and not leave out any detail, which is where it could go wrong. Because if you leave out a detail, oh boy, the universe will just throw in a loophole, which is what the universe does. But the key components is where, how, what do you feel, what is it, what do you want, when is it happening, who's around you, what's the energy. Because metaphysically we are energy, so whatever you want needs to be in the form of energy, and that's how it's reciprocated. So when I was scripting for my dream job, I wrote down my dream job, where I'd be working, how much exactly I'd be getting a month, is it after deductions, before deductions, what is my work environment like, what age am I teaching, how do I get to work? How do I get back from work? Am I able to handle my workload? Stuff like that. So then I started scripting, manifesting my dream job. I'm so grateful for this job. I am sitting here in my apartment with a view. It's so beautiful. I manifested living by the river, by the way, and I'm very close to the river. I said I'm manifesting an apartment. I wish I still had that. I'll try and look for the script. I'm manifesting my dream apartment. It's overlooking the river or of water, and I am so grateful. My job pays me 40,000 rand. and I am able to send money home. It has all the benefits, medical aid, which my job does have. I am able to travel back and forth from work without struggle, which is what's happening now. I work in a positive environment with a good team because previously I really struggled with the people I was working with, not to bash anyone, but that was my story and I'm sticking to it. So I was really adamant on finding a job where my coworkers were pleasant people, which I'm so fortunate on my floor that's the case. And yeah, so you have to be detailed in a sense. And then at the end, you have to write, I am grateful. The universe works and weaves and conspires for my greater good. So important to put that in there and not just leave it open-endedly. Everything that is gonna ever happen during this process is for the greater good of my story and my manifestation, which then just ties everything together so that even if things don't go according to, or because there's loopholes in your scripting, even when challenges do come, for an example, your workload or your a curriculum change, or maybe you meet people that, aren't so great. Everything is there to teach you something. So I would implore you to actually start manifesting and scripting your life in a way that is detailed, very detail oriented. Everything that you do, from your budget, from your planning at the beginning of the year, because we are at the beginning of the year right now, you need to be super intentional. Don't just say, oh, at the end of this year, I'm going to have my dream car. At the end of this year, I'm going to have my dream job. How is the job? What is the job like? What is the car like? I want to be safe. It gives me no issues. I want to feel cared for in my workspace and thought for. I manifest that my boss or my seniors are kind, caring, considerate people. All of those things that when we were praying and siyaphahla for jobs, which is another topic that I'll go into in a future video, the African spirituality side of manifesting, and how we as Africans, I feel, or I'll speak for the Nguni people, because that's what I'm exposed to, have lost the way in a sense because of colonialism and because of religion or Western religion, where we don't connect to, if you're a person who believes in ancestors, we don't connect to our guides because we are whitewashed or brainwashed to think that this is a bit cuckoo. So that was another method that I used, which I'll speak about in another video, which is very similar to scripting, but because of how African spirituality is about sequence, and it's about the tongue, the power in the tongue, which is, I feel like, should be, focused on in many, many religions and spaces of worship or adoration for our, God and our ancestors, where we focus on how our tongue can make or break us, because it starts with the little thing about being broke. Oh, guys, I'm so broke. Those are negative words. And someone said once on social media, never say you're broke, say you're waiting a blessing. And from there, I have never thought of myself as short of. Even when I've struggled to make ends meet, maybe in doing documentation processes, I always thought of it as, oh, I'm awaiting my next blessing. I'm not going to run short. And I never have run short, because of the way I look at money, because of the way I look at life, because of the way I look at my blessings. Every moment for me, has been a blessing through this healing journey and just discovering myself and my life. I've always looked at life now from here as just a way of moving through the frequency, and not, oh, this is so hard, this is so challenging. Yeah, sure, you're human, you're gonna get those moments where you feel weak, which is not really weakness, it's just shaping you to become a better you. So the most important thing through this journey of trying to get to the other side is actually weaving yourself through the journey. So speak positively over your life, over your children's lives, over your friends' lives. And when you're praying and manifesting, just speak positive and speak things that build. Don't just say, I'm praying for a job for my friend. I'm praying for a good job, or you're praying for a partner for your friend, they're single and sad about it. Pray for restoration, pray for a positive livelihood for your friend, because we need the people around us to do that, to paint the picture for our lives, a positive picture for our lives. So I hope that this video has been helpful as much as the one that I watched was helpful to me. And if you need any more information on scripting, please drop me a comment down below. Have you tried it before? How did it work for you? What other methods of somewhat manifesting or channeling the future do you use? I know some people use journals, gratitude journals or journaling, devotional. What methods do you use to center and get back to yourself? Stay well, keep well, guys. Until next time, I hope this has been everything for you. Bye.